What is going on, everybody? It is Bucky and welcome to your very first tutorial in intermediate Java programming. Now if you're watching this, hopefully you worked your way through my beginner tutorials, and this is just a continuation of my beginner series, but I didn't want to just keep adding tutorials to that one series or else it'd be like 8,000 tutorials long. So that's why I'm splitting it up, and we're going to start from there, the end of there, and we're going to pick up on string methods because that's where we ended off, obviously, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So if you don't know anything that I'm teaching today, I would highly recommend you going to my beginner series, and I'll put a link to those series on the right hand side, or actually I'd probably be too lazy to do that, so you just got to go find them on my homepage or something. But anyways, they're out there, so go find them. So now that we got all the basics covered with strings, we want to go over some things, and what I want to teach you in this tutorial is some cool methods that they're called start with and end with, and they pretty much do exactly like they say. They allow you to loop through an array, or even just look at one string if you want, but that's kind of worthless. And what they allow you to do is pick out all the words that begin with certain letters. So let's go ahead and make a string array, and we'll just name it words. Why? Because it's just gonna have a bunch of words in it, and I'm gonna name it funk. Let's see, chunk. Let's see what else will work for this tutorial. Furry. And I normally say that you can create your own words, but use the words that I'm using because and Baconator, because these are, we're going to compare them, and I chose these for a very specific reason for this tutorial. So copy them just like I did. So now we have an array of 4 words: funk, chunk, furry, and Baconator, and they're stored in an array called words. So let's go ahead and first use the starts with method, and here's how you do this. I'm going to be demonstrating this in enhanced for loop, which you guys should know from my beginner tutorials, and if you don't, well, go ahead and watch them. Go ahead and type in advanced for loop or something, and you'll find it. So I'm going to loop through the words array and store each of those variables in the variable w. So now what do we want to do? Well, now that we're looping through this array, we can use each word and represent it as w. So now we can use that method. Let's go ahead and make a little if. If w, which is whatever word we're at the time, is going to be equal to funk, chunk, furry, and Baconator. And here's how we do this. Starts with, and is your parameter, just go ahead and type what you want to start with. And we'll go ahead and put fu. So, ooh, I didn't even know that. Ouch, should I put that? Yeah, I definitely should put that. So now what we should put is, if this word starts with fu, what do we want to do? Let's go ahead and system out print line, and let's go ahead and just put like something like w plus starts with fu. Good enough. So now here's what we're doing in this tutorial. Since we have this enhanced for loop, it's going to allow us to easily loop through this array right here. It's going to take each word represented as w at the time, and it's going to check, alright, if this starts with this and we passed in fu, it's going to output this. If it doesn't, then it's going to do nothing at all. So it's going to say, alright, and I probably need to put a space right there. Alright, does this start with fu? Yes. So funk starts with fu. Does this? No. So it's not going to do anything. Does furry start with fu? Yes. So furry starts with fu. And Baconator, of course, that doesn't. So it's not going to do anything. So let me go ahead and run this, and now you can see it visually. Now you guys know that I'm not lying to you, and that's actually what it did. So that is how you take a string, and you can pass it in a substring and see if that starts with that. And you can even do that for one character if you want, but I just want to show you guys that you can do it too. And there's also, of course, if you go ahead and copy this, actually just go ahead and delete that probably, but why not copy it? There's also ends with. I don't know why I added a comment. I'm going to delete this in like 2 seconds. And instead of starts with, you can put ends with. And instead of fu, since none of these words within, let's go unk. So loop through all my words, and whatever ends with unk, right, that word ends with unk. So let's go ahead and run it and see what we get. This is from our old method that we built, and now we get funk ends with unk and chunk ends with unk. So of course Furry and Baconator did not end with UNK, so that's why those didn't show up, I guess you could say. So now let's go ahead and delete all this. And actually, that's pretty good for this tutorial, because in the next tutorial I'm going to be going over something else, and it's probably going to take a little bit. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial we're going to be going over how to find characters in a string and also substrings in a string. Sound confusing? Well, it'll be clear once you watch my next tutorial. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you then.